Hi guys, Steve from Vintage Classics here with another episode this week, episode number 21 actually. Today I'm going to be showing you some 1973 and 74 Topps football action cards. Most of them all taken during the game action. So, and then maybe a couple of things I'll throw in at the end, but it's not going to be a long video. Got a little stack right here to show you cards that just quickly going through this morning. It's Monday, so I usually, as you guys know, shoot my videos on Monday. It gives me the weekend to think of what I want to do. So, but let's start off. Oh, by the way, I was going through some of my stuff in one of the boxes I had here, and being, as you guys all know, a Boston fan, growing up with the Red Sox. I remember my dad and I going to this game against the White Sox. I went to a lot of games over the years, but for some reason I found this ticket stub from 1979, August 19th. 1979 at Fenway Park, bleacher seat, $3, with a picture of Carl Yastrzemski. Try to get that. You wouldn't pay $3 now. You couldn't even get popcorn there or a program for $3 at Fenway Park anymore. And then if you guys haven't noticed these yet, I don't know when they came out exactly. I might say it here and there. But I picked it up at my local shop. It's called Newsstand near my house. It's where I buy a lot of my products to protect cards, top loaders, and all that stuff. And they got a huge magazine section, and that's where I buy the vintage magazine that I always tell you guys about. I should subscribe to it, but I buy it every time it comes out there. They had these comics. There was 3 of them issued, but I believe there's more to come. This one's Duke Snider. I also have Mickey Mantle. They're pretty. It's typical comic book, but for a baseball fan, you don't see them. They're cheap. It was $2 for this. It actually says 1 of 3 issue. I have the Duke Snider and I have Mickey Mantle, and my favorite player of all time is coming out soon. Coming soon, Lou Gehrig, #1, the exciting life story of one of the greatest baseball heroes of all time. They're made by Magnum Comics, but they. If you guys happen to, go to a bookstore where you buy your magazines or whatever, you might want to check and see if they have these, because I don't know how long they're going to be out for, but they're just something neat to have. That's one thing. And another thing I have that's back here. Again, I was going through some things. This is from 1989 Nabisco. Don Mattingly. This is Don Mattingly All-Star. The back of it. Pretty neat. It says Ritz Crackers on there and everything, but it's got different memorable pictures of Mattingly from when he was a kid all the way up to the big leagues with the Yankees. I'm thinking about framing this, maybe getting Mattingly to sign it and then have it framed or whatever. So that's something that I don't know if a lot of people have them out there. I haven't really seen a lot of them. I don't even remember where I got it from, to be honest with you. All right, we'll go back now to what we originally talked about, 1973 Topps football. Maybe not the most colorful set. I mean, 71, 72 for the 70s era when bright colors and stuff like that were in. But 73, as I've mentioned in other videos, is a special year for me because I was 10 years old. I started when I was 7 or 8. 1970 I started, but I really was getting into it in 73 because I had a little bit of spending money. My dad would give me money, and I'd go down to this place called Delaney's. It was a convenience store near my house, and bought a lot of cards there. 10 cents a pack, but 73 was the first year that I really bought a lot of them. But with further ado, here's a few action shots. This is a lot of them may not be in action, but on the sidelines look like they're in game during the game it was shot. But here's Dick Anderson of the Miami Dolphins. You guys all know what the 73s look like in the back, but. That's the Miami Dolphins when they were in their heyday, 71, 72, 73, 74. They were a tough team to beat. I know because they beat my Patriots all the time, which we'll talk about the Patriots' performance this past Sunday at the very end. So next up, you have Claude Humphreys in action from the Atlanta Falcons, a defensive end. He's in the process of tackling Roger Staubach during a game. Right there. Pretty neat card. Next, you got Gerald Wilson, who was a punter for the Chiefs. You don't see a lot of punters cards in general. a little bit better. I know I have a Ray Guy in 74. I don't have it in a stack to show you today, but even today's, if you buy football cards, how often do you ever see a kicker or a punter anymore? They just don't put them in there. Offensive linemen, same thing. You don't see a lot of offensive linemen in cards anymore. It's all your quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, stuff like that, defensive backs. I showed this card in the past, but here's Chris Hamburger. Washington Redskins linebacker. All right, next you get from the Green Bay Packers, you got running back John Brockington. Nice little action shot of him running. For the Miami Dolphins, again, Jake Scott. Looks like he just made an interception there. Or it could be a pregame warm-up. But Jake was a good player for Miami. That particular year, he had 5 interceptions and 72 for 73 yards. So, yeah, he's a definitely a good player. He was the most valuable player in the 73 Super Bowl. All right. Next up, Leroy Kelly from the Cleveland Browns on the sidelines. Looks like a cold day in Cleveland. Got the Parker on and everything. Good running back. All right, from the San Francisco 49ers, quarterback. Tight end, Ted Kwolek. Nice in-game action right there. It looks like they're playing the Vikings. You barely make out a guy over here on the side trying to make a tackle. But he was a good tight end. That particular year, he had 40 catches, 751 yards, and 9 touchdowns. All right, from the Dallas Cowboys, you got tackle Ralph Neely. Another one. Must be a cold day wherever they're playing. You know, they say America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. All right, from the New York Giants, you got linebacker Pat Hughes. A little bit of a discussion on the sidelines. All right, from the San Francisco 49ers, cornerback Jim Johnson. That card that I showed you earlier with Kwolek, the tight end, probably was against the Vikings, because you can see the Vikings on the sideline in the background of this card. And they're both 49ers, was probably shot during the same game. So, all right, from the Green Bay Packers, you got running back MacArthur Lane. Nice little action shot of him. Appears to be breaking a tackle. All right. From the Baltimore Colts, then, Don McCauley, running back, running against the Jets. Yeah. It's kind of a lost, I don't know if you want to call it art or a lost thing, is action shots. Even baseball cards today, football, hockey, you really don't see the action shots you used to get in the, even as late as the 80s, but mainly the 70s and before. 70s were big on action shots. You had a lot of football, baseball, basketball, hockey that had cards with guys in action. So I kind of missed that because I enjoyed looking at them. Here's from the Philadelphia Eagles, you got safety Bill Bradley. Really good defensive back for them. It appears he must have done punting for them as well. Yeah, he actually punted also for them. Bill was the NFL's only repeat leader in 72, leading the league with 9 interceptions. Yeah, he was a good player. If you're an Eagles fan, I'm sure you've heard of Bill Bradley. All right, from the Cleveland Browns, you get their kicker, Don Cockcroft. A single bar, common for the 70s for kickers. All right, from the San Francisco 49ers, you got center Forrest Blue. Okay. Here's a guy for you, Hall of Famer. The Kansas City Chiefs middle linebacker, Willie Lanier. He was an outstanding linebacker. All right. And you got another Washington Redskin. You actually have the kicker, Kurt Knight. It looks like something went wrong here on this, either attempted field goal or point after touchdown. They're playing the Giants. If you look at the position of Kurt Knight, it appears like he's already gone by the ball. So that's a pretty neat action shot. It's a shame not the Redskins anymore, but that's a subject for another day. From the Green Bay Packers, your kicker, Chester Markle. If it shows, you can't tell who they're playing that day. It seems like Topps would shoot a lot of their action shots against similar games. It seems the Vikings a lot, the Giants, stuff like that. Here's from the Minnesota Vikings defensive end Carl Eller, part of the Purple People Eaters. Pretty good. I got that out without stumbling too much for 9 o'clock in the morning. All right. From the Dallas Cowboys, you got middle linebacker Leroy Jordan. You don't see the Cowboys too often in the blue. I was stationed in Texas in the 80s, and a lot of the guys I work with were Cowboy fans, and they used to tell me all the time that the Dallas doesn't like to wear the blue because supposedly they're more successful wearing the white. They really didn't like wearing the blue jerseys much, but here's one right here. All right, here's from the Saints, quarterback Archie Manning, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning's dad. Let's see. That year he threw 16 touchdowns the previous year, 72. So he's a good quarterback also. Then you get from the Vikings, you have wide receiver Gene Washington. This one's in action against the Baltimore Colts. All right. That glare, I should have gone back. For a while, I shot a few videos facing that side of the desk, facing this way. I probably will go back to that. I'm sorry about that for today, but from the Dallas Cowboys, you got guard John Nyland. And here's a Super Bowl card. You get the Dolphins and the Redskins here. That was won by the Dolphins 14-7. Low scoring game. Pretty much, let's see. Washington scored in the fourth quarter. Miami scored all their points in the first half. So, like I said, low scoring game there. For the Miami Dolphins, running back Mercury Morris blowing a bubble on the sidelines. All right. From the Los Angeles Rams, running back Les Josephson. He's in action against, it looks like the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, now we switch over to 1974. 74 also had quite a few action shots. A little bit more color on these cards, the design, the layout of them, as you'll see in a minute. But we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I picked 8 cards from that set. There's a lot more. Maybe in the future I'll pick out some different ones to do. All right, from the Oakland Raiders, you get guard Eugene Upshaw. Walking up the field with his helmet in his hand. From the Green Bay Packers, I don't remember this guy at all, but John Staggers, wide receiver. That's also, I think, I want to say it was airbrush, but I guess it isn't. I've got a future episode coming up on Topps' airbrushing, mainly all baseball cards. But I thought by looking at this it is, but it actually it isn't because it says he played for the Packers the previous year. So nice action shot of him playing the Chicago Bears. All right, from the Kansas City Chiefs, you got linebacker Jim Lynch. Also from the Kansas City Chiefs, you got Hall of Famer defensive tackle Buck Buchanan. Here's this guy again from the Washington Redskins, linebacker Chris Hanburger. I think I've shown him like 2 or 3 times in a couple videos. Different cards that appeared. By the looks of this guy, we want to run into him. Definitely a big boy, but when you look in the back, 6'5", 270. Actually, for today's day and age, that's probably not that big, but defensive tackle from the Redskins, Bill Brundage. His hands on his hips, he's ready to go. All right. And then from the Miami Dolphins, safety Jake Scott. You saw his 73 card a few minutes ago. This is his 74. Common practice back then, Topps wouldn't show the logos on their helmets, if you ever noticed. The Dolphins not on there. So I don't know if it was some type of an agreement they had. It was be the only thing that would be missing. Other than that, the uniform was normal. Whereas if you remember in basketball in the early 70s, some of the times the players were wearing their shirts backwards because they couldn't say the name of the team. Like my Celtics, say how it says Celtics across the jersey, or the Lakers, well, they'd have their shirt on backwards. You'd see their name or just a number. So that was a common thing in the 70s. The last card is a kicker from the Baltimore Colts, George Hunt. And by the looks of that card, he's the old straight-ahead kicker. Like Lou Groza was famous from the Browns, but not the soccer style you see today. The only reason I say that is because of the angle he's at right there. But, yeah, that's a good card of the Colts. All right, that's about all the cards I have for you today. Like I said, it wasn't going to be a really long video. Again, I get some good comments about people suggesting that I do a little bit more basketball. I really don't. I think I've done maybe one basketball video. I'll probably have a couple coming up, along with baseball. Most of my, I'd say 75 to 85% of my collection is baseball. So I did pick up a pack of, believe it or not, I picked up some new cards the other day, some Score football. And I think I got Dalton Kincaid's rookie card in there, a couple other things. Occasionally, I get the urge. I'm at the whatever Walmart or Target, and I see them by the register. So, but mainly, always looking for vintage. That's my true love. So, hence the name Vintage Collector. But thank you again for choosing to watch my channel, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Any ideas, suggestions for future ones? Like I told you, I've got a few people who suggested basketball, so I can go ahead and do one of those for you in the next couple of weeks. If not, then I hope everybody has a good rest of your week, and that the weather stays nice. We're actually not raining up here this week in New England. We've gotten so much rain, something like 16 out of 18 weekends has rained here. So it's supposed to be nice, at least through Friday anyway. So keep on collecting, and until I see you again, have a great day, have a great week, and God bless everybody. Goodbye.